Hi, I'm Janet. After years of trying to figure out the film industry, making some gains, only to see them dwindling away, I finally got my shit together and I made $85,000 my first year in the film industry in Los Angeles. Creating a career in film does not need to be a struggle. You can start in your city. I want to teach you my process and teach you how to do it. You'll see that you really can live that extraordinary film lifestyle that only the film industry can provide. Let's go.
Hello everyone, this is Omar, and today I'm going to talk to you about what I've learned after working 1 year in the film industry. I've worked on Netflix, I've worked on MTV, I've worked with PBS, I've worked for Panda Express, I worked for Microsoft, and I'm going to give you some of the insider tips that you may not know or realize being outside of the industry if you've never worked in film before and you want to. Let me tell you my experience. Let me school you on how it is. So the first thing that really blew my mind about the film industry is that it's counterintuitive. It's very casual and flexible. Way more casual than the corporate world, for sure. And it's just it's weird at first because I graduated from school, and then I learned that we're supposed to type these long formal emails, and the film industry is totally the opposite. It's no long emails like that. It's just super straight up, simple, short and sweet. When I get a job sent to me, it's hey, are you available next week, Monday through Wednesday? The pay is $250 per day. Let me know if you can do it. It's just short and sweet like that. It's not oh, hello, we're looking for a videographer candidate. That's a scam. It's a scammy thingy. It's an unprofessional thing. So if you're sending long emails and very formal and very proper, you might be shooting yourself in the foot. Don't be doing that. Don't be attaching your resume to that either. That's not the way to go about this. It's really casual. It's really flexible. And if you can't do the job, if someone sends you a job, are you available next week? 210 for 12 hours. And if you're not available, if you're booked on something else or you just don't want to work, you just be like, oh no, I'm unavailable. My friend's available though. Let me send you her info or whatever. It's just short and sweet like that. I've also learned that you can design your career however you want to. If you want a career where you're acting on travel jobs, then you can do that. Or if you want to work on a diverse variety of genres, if you want to work on horror films, on sports things with action features or whatever, and commercials and music videos, and just feel it all, work on everything, then you can do that too if you want. You can choose to find a niche, or you can choose to be broad. And you can change it too. I spent this past year making $300 a day, traveling around America with a group of rock stars and gypsy dancers. It's a good experience. It's really awesome. You don't have to be locked down in a certain genre or a certain department. You can have a diverse career if you want, or if you only want to, whatever, if you're a special effects makeup artist and you only want to work on science fiction and horror stuff, you can totally do that. This is the beauty about this. Once you develop the correct foundation, which we teach you how to do in Friends in Film, once you develop the correct foundation, then you can build on that, whatever kind of career you want. Also, if you're an actor, we recommend that you specialize in 2 departments. You specialize in acting and you specialize in something else, producing, art department, hair and makeup, whatever, because that is how you have a healthy acting career. When you have one job in production or in another department that actually feeds your acting career, that feeds your acting job. So let's say you're working in the wardrobe department, one of your specialties is wardrobe. You interact with actors every day. You know, you make friends, you chat, and you know, you're getting the wardrobe ready for the principal actor on a commercial or whatever. And then they become your friend, they introduce you to their manager, and then all of a sudden that manager refers you work. You know, that's the way it happens. Refers you work as an actor because you're talking about it. You're like, oh yeah, like I'm an actor too. And I do wardrobe. So this is how you feed your acting career. This is the fast track instead of doing it the hard way, which is survival job and audition grinding. That's the slow way to do it. You don't want to do that. You want to be on sets, working in a department. We teach you how to get started. We teach you how to get started with the entry level positions, production assistant work. And then you use that to move into your craft. You move into your acting craft or whatever it is that you want to do. I've also learned some things in working 1 year in the film industry that they don't teach you in film school. Now, I didn't go to film school, but I know they don't teach you this stuff. They don't teach you how to network. They don't teach you the business savvy of it. Maybe they'll teach you the skills, how to work a camera or how to record sound or something, but they don't teach you how to network in a way to have an abundant career, to have so many jobs that you have to turn them down. You know, that's how you know you have a healthy career. So we teach you how to get in people's phones that will refer you work or that will hire you in the future. Okay? That's how you network correctly. When you start getting on sets as a production assistant with the entry level positions, you use that job to network with people that are already working in the industry. You don't have to try and break in anymore. Once you're on set and you start building your reputation as an actor, you know, or whatever, or a director or a writer or whatever you want to do. Something else that I don't think they teach you in film school is how to enjoy yourself. Now, this is another counterintuitive thing about having an abundant career, having a successful career in the film industry, is enjoying yourself, because we're working long hours, 10 to 12 hours on set. Usually that's average, 10 to 12 hours. So if you show up with good energy, with a beautiful attitude, and you're just having fun, you're grateful to be there, that is attractive and people want to hire you back because of it. Now listen to this story. I worked a gig recently, and there was somebody new, his first production job in the industry. And we had to teach him, we had to guide him, but he was such a pleasure to work with just because he was so cool, like, to be around. He was always smiling. Whenever I saw him, he always has a smile on his face. You could tell he's in a good mood. And I'm just like, dang, I want to work with that guy again. And I'm happy to teach him whatever he wants to learn, whatever I can teach him, just because it's such a pleasure to be around his energy. So that's what we at Friends in Film teach you how to cultivate. It's really easy. It's really easy. All you got to do is be grateful for where you're at, and understand that you're building your career. You're building the foundation. You don't have to be caught up in negative thoughts and negative energy anymore. You can let all that go, snip, and then enjoy your beautiful natural state, which is gratitude and happiness. Another thing that I don't think they teach you in film school that I learned that is important to have a successful career is you show up ready to work. You show up eager and ready to work. You're hired to do a job. You're probably hired as a production assistant at first, and it may not be the most cute, it may not be the most glamorous thing to do sometimes, but that's what you're there to do. And the way to get hired back into your craft, into something that you actually want to do, is by doing that production assistant work with an eager attitude. You're there to help. You're there to make the production run as smoothly as possible. And if you can do that, people trust you in the higher paying positions. People trust you to do more, to have more responsibility. So this is the way that we flex that position in order to get to where we want to be. One of my first gigs in Los Angeles, I was chatting with the producer who was going to hire me, and she was talking to me. She was like, "Oh, did you go to film school?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't go to film school." And she was like, "Oh, good. I'm actually hesitant about hiring film school graduates because they show up entitled. Like they feel like they're too good, or I'm afraid that they're not going to do the best job possible." This is from a Hollywood producer. Okay. So I'm not saying every film school graduate is like this, but this is the kind of the street cred reputation. Just because you graduated from film school doesn't mean that you're ready to be at the highest paying position. Okay. That's just the way it is, That's what people have told me. And don't get me wrong, like a bunch of people that are in the industry now have gone to film school. They have graduated from film school, but you don't have to go to film school to be getting these jobs. You can totally get hired and have a successful career by doing what I just told you, by knowing how to network, by enjoying yourself, and by showing up ready to work and learn. Another thing that I've learned after working a year in the film industry is that the industry is big enough so that you'll always have work. You don't have to be afraid of wondering where your next job is going to be coming from. That's not, you don't have to, as long as you do the steps, as long as you build your foundation correctly, which we teach you how to do in our program, then you'll always have work. Like I said, you'll have a healthy career where you're going to have to say no to jobs, where you're going to have to pass jobs off to your friends because you just have so much work coming in. That's where I'm at right now. I have to say no to jobs, and I'm referring people that I've met along my journey, So the industry is big. There's always going to be work. Even during COVID, I got in the industry during COVID. Okay. When everything was shut down, that's when I started working. That's when I built my foundation, or started building my foundation. Another thing that I've learned is that the industry is a lot smaller than you think. So it's best practice to always do your best, because people are listening. You'll build a reputation. Okay. People know each other. I've told this story before in a previous podcast, but I made a good impression on a Netflix executive. That executive knew an MTV executive, and they referred me to MTV, and that creates a triangle of trust. Just always do your best. Sometimes your best one day isn't the same as your best on another day, but as long as you always do your best, you'll be okay. You don't have to worry about anything. It's, once you get on 20 gigs, you'll realize oh, hey, you'll recognize people from other stuff, because, they're referring you. Everyone has their little teams, and it's cool. It's beautiful. It's an awesome community, and they'll invite you in. You just have to do it the right way. Another thing I've learned is about failure. Failure is the best way to learn and the best way to grow. Okay. So we teach you how to fail properly when it doesn't cost you anything. And there's a mental skill involved with this. The best way to fail is by not beating yourself up for failing. If I mess up on set and I learn from it, I take that lesson and I grow and I do better next time, that's the right way. The wrong way is by failing, getting stuck in a sour mood, And, you know, that mental chatter of like, oh, dang, like I fucked up. Like I should just stop. I should just quit. That's happened to me before. I've felt that mental chatter before. Like, dang, do I really want to do this? Dang, I don't. That was so uncomfortable. That was so painful. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. But it takes a skill that you can learn, that you can cultivate, to turn those negative thoughts into positive thoughts, to feel that emotion and then let it go. And then to step into gratitude, like, oh, I'm grateful that I learned that lesson. And another thing that I learned about the industry is that it's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science. It's not life or death. We're playing with lights, cameras, and hair and makeup. You know, it's not. You will survive. You will have a successful career even if you mess up. The industry is big enough, so like, if whatever reason that if you mess up on one set and they don't hire you back, there's like millions of other people that will be happy to hire you back. So don't take things too seriously, but take your job seriously. You know, you understand that balance? Show up to do a good job, but don't take it so serious where you convince yourself that it's life or death. How you respond to failure will help you grow and set you apart and set you ahead of everybody else. You know, some people make their way on set and then they have a bad experience, whatever, or maybe you're an actor and you got rejected, whatever, you audition and you get rejected. I mean, you know, if you've been doing this for a while, you know, you have to face rejection over and over again until you get a yes, you know. I think the ratio is like 10 no's. With every 10 no's, you'll get one yes. Something like that as far as the auditioning. So that's that persistence that you cultivate, that you learn, that we can learn. Another thing I've learned is everything is negotiable. You know, you can negotiate your rates. Once you have enough experience, once you develop enough clout, then you learn to negotiate, and you learn the right way to talk to professionals. You learn the right way to make things happen the way that you want to. And it's super cool. You don't necessarily have to accept something for face value. I mean, at first you do, kind of, just to get experience and to learn and to become familiar with it. But like once you learn that foundation, then you can learn how to negotiate. Like that job I was telling you. So for the past year, I was making $300 a day with this one particular production. I started at $200 a day. Okay. Someone else on that same production had been with them longer, for I think 3 years or something like that. And for those 3 years, he was making $250. So how come I only after working 1 year was able to negotiate from $200 to $300? It's because I knew how to create value. I know how to create value. I've learned how to negotiate, which Janet teaches us in the Friends in Film program. And I've learned how to do it in a way where it's like, of course you're worth this much. You're worth more. Like, I wish I could pay you more, but this is what I can afford. You know, it's that kind of thing. People, when you walk into a room, when you walk onto a set, people know, they can tell you're one of the good ones, and they want to keep you around, and they're willing to do whatever they can do to keep you around. Okay, this is the beauty. This is what we teach you in Friends in Film. It's called the get it factor. We teach you the Friends in Film get it factor, where you just get it. And people notice that right away. The people in power notice that. The people in power notice that. Your peers notice that. And, you know, people want to hire you back. People want you on their team. People want to refer you. That's what I've learned after working a year in the film industry. So I hope that helps you. I hope that kind of lights your fire, that gets you excited. maybe gives you sheds a little bit of light on this mystery that is the film world. I believe in you. You can do this.
Thanks for listening today. And if you have a moment, could you please leave me a review? I would love that. And make sure you head over to friendsandfilm.com/join and sign up for my free mini course on what you need to know to find opportunities and start making film and acting work come to you. I'll see you next week.